Do we really trust injustice though? God, I'm so tired. I'm so done. I'm so done with everything. Fuck everything in particular. Ugh. Listen, everything was kind of okay. Like, I had no problems, and I started my PC. First of all, I tried to install Minecraft again. You okay, hon? No, not at all. So far from okay. So yeah, tried to install Minecraft, and it installed the launcher. But now I can't open the launcher because I don't have access to the launcher, and I'm just like, what do you want from me? Ugh. And then I was gonna like download the driver so that I could use my DualShock 3 controller to play this game. But then iTunes wouldn't play, and I'm just like, why won't you play? So I've been like sitting here for the past 30 minutes or something, trying to figure out how to get it to work. I unplugged my fucking headset. I did a bunch of shit. Nothing worked. Oh, let me fucking go to the fucking talking screen. There we go. Cool. I can just hide that for now. Cool. I think it's safe to say I'm a little bit irritable today. Thank you. I really appreciate that hug. Oh, this is something I want to do. Damn it. Hold on, wait. Let me just fix that real quick. There it is. There. Because I noticed that the chat box was a bit too close to like the border or whatever. Can you move? Breathe. Breathe, Lily, breathe. Okay, maybe like that. Now it should just reset. There we go. I love that lemon gift. Also, PC setup sucks, especially when it should work. Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. I'm just so incredibly tired. Like, I don't. Well, I hope that I can, at the very least, find out what the iTunes thing is later. I've literally been sitting here for the past 30 minutes just screaming at my fucking PC. It's that bullshit. Okay, anyways, I think let's just get into the game maybe. Is it 3 or is it 2? It's 3, cool. I can never fucking remember. Okay. I'm like, should I just continue from where I left off or should I just restart it? I wonder what's wrong. If I'd have to wager a guess, I would 100% bet that it just wants to be updated. But I don't have the fucking thing. I just have iTunes. I don't have like the fucking updater thingy or whatever the hell. I don't know what it's called. But if I had to wager a guess, that would 100% be it. If it's not that, then I have no fucking clue. Because I did everything. Like, I went online and it's just like, oh, well, have you made sure that your audio things are connected? And I'm just like, yes. Have you made sure that it's playing? Yes. Have you made sure that it's registering sound? It is. Or, well, it's not really, but like, if I look at my fucking, what's it fucking called? My mixer, I can see that, like, the audio levels are moving. So obviously there is something going on there. But it just doesn't want to register. Either in my headphones or on OBS for some reason. And I don't know why. I don't know why. Huh. I'm tired. I'm just gonna continue from where I left off. So, what had happened? Okay, we got Gregson in front of us. There was something funky with OBS and media players? No, it's not OBS. That's the thing, it's not OBS. Because it's outside of OBS too. Spotify works fine. No, it's literally just iTunes being a little bitch. Like, that's all there is. Alright, the investigation. So, how is the investigation going, Inspector? Nothing to it, really. A very simple case. There's some very definitive evidence. We're just about to charge that diver we arrested last night, in fact. Gina, you're going to charge her? That's right. Should be able to bring her before the judge at the Bailey tomorrow.
Definitive evidence, you say? What is it? Come on, show me!
Your ladyship, as much as I wish I could oblige you, I'm afraid.
Ah, I see. You've already captured the pair of thugs who broke in here last night, have you?
What the?
And you're going to put them on the stand as witnesses, are you?
Oh yes, the ones who broke in are the witnesses. Makes sense. Totally. And the turnover time is so short for these cases. What do you mean? How could you? How could you possibly know that?
I had a feeling, that's all.
Remind me to never try to keep a secret from Iris. So, you've arrested the two men who shot Mr. Sholmes, have you? Oh yeah, like it happened today and the trial is tomorrow already. Well, it happened last night, but yeah. Well, yes, you were rounded up pretty quickly by the lads on the beat. And Miss Lestrade is being held at the prison? She should be. That's assuming she hasn't lifted the key from the jailer, of course. Can you tell us anything about Mr. Sholmes? What's his condition? Sorry, I'm not at liberty to divulge that information. Scotland Yard matters are strictly confidential. Usually there's at least like a few weeks, months even. You're right.
Well, I know he's being operated on at St. Sinners. Why can't I see him? I'm family, you know.
I'm terribly sorry, your ladyship. It's the hospital's policy, not visiting at all.
Oh.
Bullet must have hit an artery in his midriff. He's lost a fair bit of blood.
Oh no.
It didn't seem too bad in the first hour or so. But a hemorrhage like that is enough to make even the one and only Sholmes pipe down. Mr. Sholmes is a human like the rest of us, you know. Well, anyway, he's having emergency surgery right now. They've got to stop that bleeding.
But he will be alright, won't he? They'll be able to make him better.
Of course, your ladyship. He'll be as right as rain before you know it.
Really? How do you know?
How do I know? Because, of course. Ah, yes, because Mr. Sholmes is such a great detective, that's why. We better pray the doctors have a better grasp of what's needed to make someone well again.
Oh dear. Please don't die, Hurley.
I'll report to your ladyship the moment I hear he's out of the operating theatre. I couldn't help noticing, Inspector. Well, out with it, sunshine. Gregson, you're not exactly great at comforting people. That's not in his name, so that's of course not. That makes sense. Well, there seems to be a marked difference between the way you talk to me and Iris. What's just sauce, Sonny? I'm a copper and we don't go in for favoritism.
But he's right. You do treat us differently.
It's because of those Adventures of Sherlock Holmes stories. That's why. Oh. I crop up a man, don't I? Inspector Tobias Gregson.
Oh, well, yes, because you're an acquaintance of Hurley's.
What did you write about the inspector, Iris?
I don't remember, really.
It was one of Sholmes's lines. Gregson is the smartest of the Scotland Yarders, is how he put it.
Oh, did I write that?
And you know what that one line did for me, eh? The very next month, my pay doubled. Doubled, I tell you. Ooh, that's amazing. Well, because everyone at the yard reads them. They read all the Sherlock Holmes stories. They've even set up a fan club for me.
Of course. That explains everything. It was around that time that you became such a toady to me.
Can you blame me? All it'd take is one bad word from you and Holmes could change his tune about me. Gregson? No, the great detective will say, he's getting quite overrated these days. Think what would happen to my salary if that came out in print, eh? The whole thing gives me the willies. I can't tell you how many nights of sleep I've lost to worrying about it.
But that would never happen, Gregsy.
Every month when the new Rants magazine comes out, my hands are trembling as I turn the pages.
Oh, how awful for you! Here, have some of my tea to settle your nerves.
Lovely. Ta very much. That really hit the spot, your ladyship. Now imagine your pay just doubling because someone said something nice about you. Gumshoe cannot relate. Teetotal. Okay. Oh, yeah. There's something I was supposed to talk to you about, actually, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? What is it? Got an important message for you. I clean forgot about it until now. An important message. I wonder what it could be. Gregson is reverse Gumshoe. He's raking in the dosh. Are you going to tell me what this important message is then, Inspector? Yeah, it's about that young lady who's normally by your side, your assistant.
Dear Susie, is she alright?
She's at the station, isn't she? Being questioned, I believe. Nope, not anymore. She had to head off. Head off? Where? To Lord Strongheart's office, of course. He summoned her. Ah, yes, of course, I'd forgotten about that. One of the whipstocks took her there in the yard carriage after we'd finished questioning her. But she asked us to tell you that... But she asked us to tell you she didn't have the fare for the return journey and to go and meet her there. She's got a nerve using Scotland Yard as a bloomin' messaging service. I see. Well, thank you for passing that on, Inspector.
Why did Susie have to go see the Lord Chief Justice?
She didn't tell me, but I'd better head over to the Lord Chief Justice's office to fetch her straight away. Yes. No matter how many times I come here, I always get the same sense of oppressiveness somehow.
Do you think the place is oppressive? I think it's normal.
How so?
I mean, look at that suit of armor over there. You can't take that seriously, can you?
Is Susato in trouble for backtalking the wine aunt? Probably. Maybe he thinks the same about you. But that was like 2 months ago. So everything is clear with regards to tomorrow's arrangements, I trust.
Yes, thank you very much.
There they are. Susato-san and Lord Strongheart.
I wonder what they're talking about. They both look very serious.
Oh, I just realized I forgot to send a message to someone. Very good. There is nothing further to discuss. You may return to your lodgings. No doubt you have much to do in preparation for your return to your homeland. Wait, what did he just say? Your return to your homeland? Susato-san!
Oh, Mr. Naruhodo.
They're sending her away? Apparently. What was that all about? Ah, Mr. Naruhodo. Thank you for coming to collect your colleague. What's this all about? Why were you talking about Miss Susato's return to her homeland? And tomorrow?
Tomorrow? But what's about Jeannie's trial?
You mean she's been formally charged now? Oh dear. Miss Susato, what's all this about?
Oh, please don't concern yourself, Mr. Naruhodo. It's only me going back to Japan. Your life here can continue just as it has.
No, that's not what I asked. What happened? Why are you leaving?
It's my father. He's fallen ill.
Oh, okay, that makes sense then. I mean, it's still bad, but at least it makes sense.
Oh no!
Professor Mikotoba. If I may. Yes, sorry. You must be the defendant. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes, that's right. My name is Eugene Mikotoba. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yume University. But like it's 50-ish days with both. You're right. We received an international telegram from the Empire of Japan informing us of the news.
10 days ago, Father collapsed with a fever. The cause is apparently unknown. And it seems he grows weaker day by day.
I don't believe it. As you are aware, the voyage from here to your country's capital, Tokyo, takes some 50 days. I thought it would be prudent to hasten Miss Susato's departure as much as possible. Yes, absolutely.
I will leave London first thing tomorrow morning.
I can't believe this is happening.
So Gina has been charged. She'll have to appear in court?
Yes, she was formally charged a few hours ago, and the date of the trial has already been set for tomorrow.
No, not even 24 hours later?
Gina. Ah, the Lestrade girl and the murder of the Baker Street pawnbroker, yes. An all too transpicious case. The pickpocket was clearly disturbed mid-robbery and shot the man in a panic. No, the yard is stretched as it is, without wasting time on these open and shut cases.
It's not wasting time. Genie would never do something like that.
Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, yes, Lord Strongheart? In deference of your fine services to date, I shall overlook this young girl's insolence, but I have no recollection of admitting a child into my office. Leave. Now.
Of course, Lord Strongheart.
He will have been sick with a fever for 11 days before she even gets on the boat, plus another 50 days for the voyage. Who knows? Maybe he has like around like 70 days left to live. Like, it's there is no way to tell. He's either better before she gets there or dead. Yeah, exactly. Like criminals will tell the most palpable lies in order to evade justice. The police can ill afford the time it takes to unravel all their untruths. Meanwhile, more crimes are perpetrated. We have far more serious matters with which to contend. Serious matters? Didn't Gregson mention something like that yesterday?
Yes, Inspector Gregson made a similar remark yesterday.
It's no concern of yours, though I'm sure I need not remind you of that. "3 minutes precisely until my next meeting. You must excuse me." There's just one more thing, Lord Strongheart. Which is, it's Miss Lestrade's trial. I wonder if you might permit me to defend her. A timely suggestion. Sorry? The girl currently has no representation.
But that's not fair. Yes, she may be a pickpocket, but she still deserves a fair trial.
Do not misunderstand me, young lady. The government provides for those too poor to afford representation with the public defender. The accused need only sign the relevant paperwork and a defense barrister will be assigned to the case. However, the young girl in question has refused that right. Why would she do that? A question you would do well to direct at Miss Lestrade. You'll find her at the local prison. Yes, thank you. Now then, it's time I was leaving. Good day to you. Pigeon Man continues to be a bitch, for real. What a day! Gina charged with murder. Susato-san about to leave.
Come, Mr. Naruhodo, Iris. We must make haste. But, Susie... You're leaving for Japan tomorrow morning, aren't you? Don't you have packing and things to do? As Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, my personal circumstances are of no consequence. My sole purpose remains to help you in whatever way I can.
Thank you, Mrs. Soto. That's a very pensive look.
I think we ought to visit Gina first. In any case, I should like to wish her well before I leave. Yes, that sounds like a good idea. Let's go!
If I'm honest, this has completely thrown me off. I'll just have to do what I can, as a lawyer. Huh? Hello again, Gina. What are you a lot here for? To have the muzzle of that grenade launcher shoved in our faces yet again, obviously. That's how we're here.
I think I need to improve the way you load ammunition into that thing, don't I? Look, you can come as many times as you like, but I ain't got nothing more to say to you.
They let her keep the smoke gun? Of course, sure, why not?
Gina, I wonder if you might hear me out. There's something I'd like to say.
What?
I'm sorry to say that I must reluctantly bid you farewell.
Hey? Farewell?
Tomorrow I must begin my journey back home, to Japan. I fear we may never meet again.
Oh, right.
I've had the pleasure of meeting so many lovely people here in London. I have so many wonderful memories. And yet, as things stand now, it will be a glum parting indeed. Poor Iris is so miserable. Susie!
Well, that ain't my business.
Both Iris and Mr. Naruhodo believe you to be innocent, Gina. They've put their faith in you. But somehow, you can't find it in your head to put your faith in them.
Yeah, that's right, I can't. All of it.
It grieves me greatly to have to say goodbye to my friends when they are so clearly unhappy. Because of you.
What? Is my fault?
Yes, so I have one final request, Gina, before our paths never cross again. Right here and now, I want you to show both of them that you don't deserve the faith they've invested in you.
Eh?
Only by doing that will you truly be as alone as you claim to be.
What are you talking about? What do you expect me to do, eh?
You've told us that everyone lies. So prove it by admitting one of your own untruths.
Wow, Susato is a master at guilt tripping? Yeah, for real.
What about what you said before, Ginny? You said something about unforgivable lies.
I also realized I forgot to fucking post it to my fucking Twitch server. Twitch? No, Discord server. My god, I'm so tired. I'm tired of fighting with my computer. It's awful.
You must tell Mr. Naruhodo and Iris the truth now. That is my last request before I leave. My last request as a judicial assistant.
No, I can't. Whatever these lies are, they're obviously weighing very heavily on Gina's mind. Gina, I could be wrong, but is it something to do with what happened 2 months ago? Something about that trial. The one in which Magnus McGilded was acquitted.
Huh?
The case of that mysterious murder that took place inside the omnibus. You were called as a witness by the prosecution. Is that what this is about? Yeah, you're right. Because in that trial, I lied. I lied like you wouldn't believe. Gina, no! Will you tell us about it now? Like you said, it all happened 2 months ago. The coppers got hold of me and shoved me in the witness stand. And based on your testimony, Mr. McGilded was declared innocent. Yeah, well, the thing is, I lied about a whole bunch of stuff. I knew it.
What sort of thing did you lie about?
I was hiding under the seat that night. That was the truth. Damn, she must have been a good-ass liar for the story actually made sense. True. It was pitch black in that little cubbyhole. I couldn't see a thing, and then I heard that loud thud, like someone falling on the floor. And that's when Mr. McGilded discovered you. Yeah. He pulled me out from under the seat and sat me next to the dead man. There weren't much light to see by, but when I looked at my hands, I had the cove's blood all over them. I was so scared I couldn't even speak. You had his blood on your hands. In other words, it was Gina that the witness on the roof deck saw through the skylight.
Then Mr. McGilded started asking you questions, I suppose. Who you were and why you were hiding under the seat.
Yeah, I did. Only, that's not all.
What do you mean?
I mean, he threatened me.
Threatened you how?
He made me swear about what I seen and what I heard. And about what he was going to do after the cove was found dead. He made me swear I wouldn't tell no one about any of it. If I did that, he said he'd let me scalp it before the coppers showed up. Gina, you must tell me what he swore you to secrecy about. What you saw. What you heard. Everything. You said McGilded made you swear not to tell anybody what you saw. But you were in the pitch black compartment under the seat the whole time, weren't you?
Yes, with Mr. McGilded sitting above your head, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's true, but it was when I heard the thud of the cove hitting the floor. I let out a little scream, see? Couldn't help it. McGilded heard that and dragged me out by the arm, and that's when I saw it. It was on the floor next to the old geezer what had been stabbed. A disc, all bright and shiny.
A disc?
Do you mean? Yeah, that's it. The one what the D took off me at the window banks. So the music box disc was there on the floor of the omnibus. Not for long, McGilded spotted it right away. He picked it up spottish and stuffed it in his inside pocket. So that disc was in the omnibus 2 months ago at the scene of Mr. Mason's murder. And the bug trotter told me I want to mutter a word of it to no one. It was Mason's coat. Ooh. 'Cause it was so dark under that seat in the cab. I was straining my ears the whole time. After a while I heard the door and footsteps inside the cabin. Presumably that was McGilded getting on board. Nah, not only him. Oh, 'cause I could definitely make out the footsteps of 2 people.
In that case, it would seem likely that it was Mr. McGilded and the victim.
Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason.
In his testimony during the trial, Mr. McGilded claimed he slept during the carriage ride.
But whenever I'm in a carriage, I'm taken with a fierce tiredness and I always succumb to it.
Your own testimony, Gina, supported this. Or supported his.
All I could hear was the Irishman snoring. Yeah, that weren't exactly true. Neither of them was asleep. I could hear them talking the whole time in low voices. What? What were they talking about? Sorry, I don't know. The sound of these horses and the wheels was too loud.
But that still tells us something. Mr. McGilded and the victim knew each other.
So McGilded was lying, as I suspected. I knew it wasn't gonna take long before someone raised the alarm that the bloke had been killed.
Yes, you were quite right. The other passengers on the roof deck noticed very quickly.
So when the cab came to stop, McGilded told me to hide back under the seat again. I climbed in and waited. The 2 coves from up top ran off to get the coppers. Yes, Mr. Fairplay and Mr. First. Right, and after they'd gone, McGilded asked the driver to do him a favor. A favor? Now then, fella. What I need you to do is take this coat of mine and deposit it with a nearby pawnbroker. And for your troubles, let's see now. I'll give you 10 guineas. A nearby pawnbroker? You mean on Baker Street?
Yep, you got it. It was Windybanks. The coachie snapped up the money and ran off to pop this coat as fast as he could. So then there was no one left in the carriage. McGilded opened the box under the seat and let me get out of there, but not without conditions.
I see. What were McGilded's conditions then? For letting you go free, I mean.
Not telling a soul, not for anything. About what I saw and what I heard. And there was something else as well.
There's more?
Yeah. This is the most important thing, he said.
And after sending the coachman on a little errand for me, with some small change in his hand.
And now then, did you hear what I asked of him? Did you see anything at all? Anything at all? You asked him to go pop your weasel, right?
Aye. The fiend's taken me overcoats to deposit with the pawnbroker hereabouts. And I want you, lass, to take the redemption ticket for it. Do you understand?
What? You want me to have the ticket?
That's right. I'll come fetch it from you later. Sometime within the next 2 months. You're to hang on to it until then. Is that clear? And whatever you do, don't lose it.
Alright then.
And in case I might happen to be delayed at all, you're to go to the pawn shop, Windybank so it is, and you're to extend the loan before the 2 months is up. If you forget, the article will be forfeited, and any old fiend could come along and buy it.
Aye, but I ain't got that kind of brass.
Here's £5. That should be enough. Do we understand each other, lass? Don't try anything funny now. If it'd go against me...
Yeah, I get it.
Good. And one more thing. In a few days from now, you'll be visited by the police, I've no doubt.
The coppers?
Aye. They'll come asking you to take the stand in court to testify as a witness. So let's just have a wee chat about that, shall we? What is it that you might say? What is it that you might say, and what it is that you won't?
After I'd gone over it all, I piked it. Got as far away from there as I could. He hid the pawnbroker's ticket in some bushes near the scene. I went to fetch it the next day once it got dark.
So McGilded planned it and coerced Gina into giving false testimony. Damn, I'm just like thinking about what it could have been. That like... She didn't do anything until like 2 months later. Even though he was fucking dead.
I bet you're ready to string me up, eh? I lied. In that big old courtroom. I told some corkers. The thing is, he said he would make it so he wouldn't live in the East End no more. That's what he threatened me with. What a wicked man. He knew everything what went in the back slums. He knew we had no one to look after us and we was all just looking out for each other, getting by together.
So you mean Mr. McGilded would have...
In an heartbeat. He could have had a lot of us chased out of there if he wanted. And then where could we have gone, eh? Nowhere, that's where. So, I didn't have no choice.
Thank you, Gina, for telling us everything.
But, I'm for it now, eh? Go on, admit it. You must be livid.
Well, you can make amends by doing me a simple favor.
A favor? What?
Sign the representation papers for tomorrow's trial.
Aye?
If you don't actually want me to represent you in court, you can rip it up later. But we need that paperwork or we can't investigate. The police won't let us.
Investigate what?
The scene of the incident last night. Mr. Sholmes was shot, you see.
You what? He's having a big operation right now, Ginny.
Is it bad? Is he gonna be alright? Sholmes is gonna be alright, right? That's why I want to investigate. For Mr. Sholmes' sake as much as anything. Right. So what you're saying is, if I sign up a paper, everyone's happy, is that it? Something like that. Mr. Soto?
Yes, of course. I have the representation papers here.
I don't need no one to stick up for me though. No lawyer or nothing. Just accept the help, Gina. Please.
Poor Ginny, she seems so lonely.
Nice. Well, at least this should mean we can investigate the scene at Windybanks now. I got my food so I can finish my thought. What was your thought?
Yes, and perhaps we can come back to visit Ginny when we're done there.
I feel like we finally cracked Gina. She's opened up to us as last. And now I have her representation papers. No one else knows just what a responsibility that is. Anyway, for now it meant Inspector Gregson can't stop us investigating at Windybanks. Although something tells me he's not going to be happy about it. Was that really it? It has to be Mason's coat, since it was cold outside according to the people up top. And in the flashbacks and pictures, Mason was without a coat. You've got a point there. Well, and let me just see how long the last part is. I say last part, but it's the last part of the investigation. No, it's probably fine actually. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Here we are again at the scene of the crime. That could be what they were talking about in the carriage. I'm gonna be honest, it's really hard for me to pay attention today, but it's fine. Now to thrust these representation papers in Gregson's face and see what he makes of them. I'm just imagining he just like grabs it, and while Gregson is just looking another way or something, Nedoholder just shows up in front of his face and he's just like, look at this, look, we got the permission, let us investigate. Hello again. Hello again, Inspector. Do you have a minute, please? What is it now? I should go home and get some rest.
Here you are, Gregsy. Here are the representation papers.
Your ladyship. How? I don't believe it. How the devil did you get that stubborn little ragabash to sign that? I salute you. That is good work, that is. Look at this photo, representation papers. Exactly.
I can see you've been very busy here as well. How about some tea? It's a special blend designed to relieve fatigue.
Lovely. Yeah, well, let's see now. Yes, I hardly feel tired at all. I'm fit as a fiddle, your ladyship. Would it be alright if we investigated the scene of the crime then? Do as you please. You know where it happened. Through that door behind the counter. Yes, the storeroom. That's where I discovered Mr. Windybank and Gina. Right. Well, I'll be getting back to the business then. Will you be investigating in the storeroom as well, Inspector? If I'm perfectly honest, we need to wrap this up before long. Can't afford to spend too much time on it. But there are so many articles to go through, it's taking forever, even with the lads working around the clock. Which is a problem, because there's another case the Yard needs to investigate urgently. That must be what Lord Strongheart meant by far more serious matters before. So what I'm saying is, don't get under my feet, Sunshine.
Come then. Let us not waste any time.
First thing I do is wasting time. Wee. Door, no. Just save the door.
These shelves are where the pawnbroker puts articles that have been forfeited on display for customers to buy.
Yes, it's a really strange miscellany, isn't it? I mean, who would buy this horse statue, for example?
Well, sometimes you can find some real treasures among all the junk, you know. Are you alright, Bruno?
Oh, it's just, well, it looks like a collection of useless junk as a whole, but when you pick out individual things, you can't help wishing you owned them. Even that horse statue.
That's exactly how the pawnbroker works. They're very clever.
The police are scouring every inch of this place by the look of it. Instruction from the Yard are to examine every article in the shop and every ledger and book of accounts. Every article, but that's a ridiculous amount of work, surely. We've been hard at it ever since the shop was declared a crime scene in the early hours. We're sifting through it all in shifts at least, but still. We'll be working through the night, that's for sure. And even then, we'll barely have scratched the surface. A crime in a pawnbroker's. It must be every policeman's worst nightmare. It's every copper's worst nightmare, you know. A crime in a pawnbroker's. Sounds like it is.
That's a music box. Do you have them where you come from, Bruno?
Yes, but I've never seen one as large as this in Japan.
Oh, well, this will be a treat. Shall we have a listen? What do you think? Isn't it a pretty sound?
I feel as if there are worse places. I mean, I guess. But a pawnbroker has like a lot of items, you know, and you don't know like which items are like a morgue. Nah. Other than the corpses, it's like it's not that bad. Like I said here, it's like harder because you don't know what items are like related to the crime and which are not. It's a beautiful sound, yes, but it's a little hard to enjoy when all the policemen in the room are giving you fierce looks.
Never mind that. If any of them say anything, I'll tell Gregsy to have a word.
Iris Wilson, Superintendent of Scotland Yard. There's the article ledger here, and Mr. Windybank's notes, and what's this? It looks as though someone has left a little photographic print behind.
Oh, look at the back. There's some writing. Is that? Ooh, show us, Susie. Show us. 15th of February, 10:30 p.m. Article deposited, 1 gentleman's overcoat. Loan amount paid, £1. Redemption deadline, 15th April, 10:30 p.m.
A gentleman's overcoat pawned for £1. Clearly it was a very fine coat. In fact, I think...
This must be the ticket for the overcoat that Ginny redeemed yesterday.
And is still wearing, which belonged to McGilded. I would never have expected the redemption ticket to be handwritten on the back of a photograph, though.
It seems Mr. Windybank just used whatever piece of paper he happened to have on hand.
But this photograph of a cat, it looks very familiar, doesn't it? I'm sure I've seen this exact same picture somewhere else recently.
Oh, yes, you're right. Very recently. It's the same as the one Ginny gave us earlier.
Of course, I was forgetting that she gave us that print. She gave us a what? Oh, so she did. One small box. It's not the exact same picture, though. Is it not? I mean, obviously it's different. It has like a different date on the back. Look on the back of this print here. There's something written on it.
13th February, 9 p.m. Article deposited, one small box.
This cat seems slightly different. It does?
Known amount paid, 10 shillings. Redemption deadline, 13th April, 9 p.m.
This photographic print is the redemption ticket.
For an article that was deposited 2 days prior to the incident in the omnibus, it would seem.
Yes, a small box. That doesn't tell us much about it, does it?
Perhaps it contains some valuable mementos.
I can't help wondering. Presumably Mr. McGilded never redeemed the article in question since he still had the ticket. So isn't it possible that the box is still present somewhere in the shop? Ah, yes. If it's something McGilded deposited, we need to investigate. I, the undersigned, agree to legal representation by the lawyer named hereunder in regard to the following incident. Defendant Jean Lestrade, alleged offense, murder of Baker Street pawnbroker, date of trial, 17th April 10 a.m., attorney-in-law Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Of course, I was forgetting that she gave us that print.
What are you waiting for then, Mr. Naruhodo? Get it out!
Alright, let the cogs turn. You're right. I know what it is. 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 I'm not gonna say it, but I know what it is.
Yes, they are exactly the same.
They look in different directions. Yes.
I've got it. These two photographs hide an amazing secret.
A secret? What does she mean?
You must tell us, Iris, at once.
A stereoscope picture, yes! That's exactly what I was thinking too.
Do you really want to know?
Yes, we need you to tell us all you know about this pair of photographs. It was like over here, right? I'm fairly sure this contraption was here yesterday as well. Here we are, though I'm not confident I can get it closed again.
Oh, yes! That's a folding stereoscope.
Really? This is stereoscope? Mr. Sholm showed us a picture yesterday that you were supposed to be able to see in 3 dimensions. But for that, he used a great big contraption over there.
Ah, well, that's for use in public houses and places like that. It contains a carousel with sorts of pictures inside. But this little thing is a much simpler design for use at home. There are special shops selling prints you can use in them. I have a little collection myself.
I wonder if I could make money out of these in Japan. It would beat keeping my toilet sparkling clean anyway. Damn it, I have to fucking talk to her. Okay, fine, I'll talk to her. tell me that they're stereograph pictures. So, Iris, about these two photographic prints, the one we found here on Mr. Winterbank's counter and the one Gina gave us before. What is this amazing secret you mentioned that's hidden between these two identical prints?
Actually, that's not quite right.
Sorry?
If you look carefully, the two prints aren't the same. Not exactly.
They're not?
Have another look at them now. Can you see that they're just slightly different from each other?
I think so? It's very subtle though.
But what's the reason for the subtle difference between the two prints? Well, it's because they're a set, you see.
No, I don't.
This pair of photographs. It's meant to be used in the stereoscope.
Really? I never would have thought.
Everyone in London is raving about them at the moment.
Ah, stereoscope. Why do I feel as though I've heard that word before recently? This is just even funnier because he literally just showed her like a handheld stereoscope thing. Wow, what an amazing secret. Yeah, exactly. I never would have guessed.
Oh, yes. That's what Mr. Sholmes showed us yesterday, and we just showed you. You see? There it is, just over there.
Ah, yes, of course, that magical machine that makes pictures look almost real enough to touch.
Well, actually, it's quite possible to see the same depth in pictures even without one of those contraptions.
What? Really? One of those big contraptions, you mean?
Do you know how a pair of flat photographic prints can appear to have any depth in the first place? No, I have no idea. Oh, wonderful! Then I'll be able to tell you.
She's over the moon. Bless her. Should we let her explain, though? We really need to carry on investigating the scene.
I, for one, simply have to know. Have you ever considered, Runo, how our eyes see the depth of the world around us?
Well, I just opened them and it works. God bless. My God.
But the reason it works is because we have two eyes.
Two eyes. Shocking.
If you try closing just one at a time, I think you'll see straight away. What you see with your left eye and what you see with your right eye are ever so slightly different. You get a different view from each eye.
Yes, the position of objects seem to shift slightly. Do you know can really be out here seeing for free? True.
Exactly. And in your head, your brain uses that shift to estimate depth as it merges the two views into one.
Iris, my depth perception sucks. Not that I don't have depth perception. I do. Or do I? I think I do. But because my eyes are fucked, a stereoscope likely would not work on me. Because it's pretty much like the same way like those like cardboard VR glasses. It's the same way those work, right? Like you have like two pictures that are slightly different next to each other. That doesn't work for me. Believe me, I've tried. They just look blurry because my eyes can't focus.
That's how we can sense depth in everything we see.
My brain really is amazing, isn't it? It does so much without telling me. Oh my god, those handheld stereoscopes are yesterday's cardboard VR headsets. Exactly, they are. They really are.
I think I see. So the pair of photographs consist of a left eye view and a right eye view. Is that right? Oh, well done, Stacy. You're so quick.
So if you can persuade your brain to merge the two pictures together in your head, you'll be able to see depth in these prints.
Yes, Bruno. You're beginning to understand.
And a stereoscope's function is to act as your brain and allow you to do just that.
Yes, but as long as you have two images, two eyes, and one brain, you can actually do it yourself without needing a stereoscope at all.
If you have functioning depth perception, you can? Really? If this is the thing where you have to like overlap two pictures, I can't do that.
Let's try it. Let's see if we can view this pair of prints without the help of a stereoscope.
I can't. I can just say right now, I can't.
Oh yes, I'm dying to have a go.
Susato-san really loves this kind of thing. It is by looking cross-eyed, but it doesn't work for me. Yeah, you need to be able to cross your eyes. That's the main thing. Can you both do that? It doesn't overlap for me. That's the thing. Cross my eyes. I think I can.
Watch me and see if you can copy. Make your eyes do this.
Yes, I know how to cross my eyes.
Alright, let me try. Are you ready, Mr. Naruhodo?
Please. There, how's that?
Wonderful! Now it's your turn, Bruno. The trick is to concentrate on looking on the bridge of your nose with both eyes at the same time.
Yeah, I know how to do it. I know how to do it. I'm not dumb, but it doesn't work. Not exactly an easy task when two people are staring at you cross-eyed.
Alright, that's enough practice. Now let's try looking at the prints.
I'm gonna give this the old college try, but it didn't work.
Start by staring at one print and slowly crossing your eyes. You should see two overlapping images, like this. You try it now, Bruno.
I'm just going to have to give it a try, I suppose. Wait, did that do something?
Did the print slot into two images for you? Now, the next step.
Ah, there.
Is to put the pair of prints side by side like this and then try crossing your eyes again.
No, it doesn't. I can't even see the screen. I guess the game did it for us? Yeah, sure, but I can't do it myself! Ah! I just want to be able to do it myself! Iris, my depth perception sucks. I hate this part. They don't do that for me. I don't like this. Whatever.
Yes!
Mr. Naruhodo, it works! I can see it in the middle now! I can't! If it makes you feel better, neither can I.
It looks so real! Oh, I could look at it all day!
I wouldn't advise that. Your eyes might start to hurt.
Your turn, Bruno. Pretend you're looking through the two pictures and slowly cross your eyes.
I can't. No. I know why it doesn't work. And I'm gonna try to like explain it a bit here really quick. Because when I was born, I was born with like a hanging eyelid, which is like it's fine. It's like not that big of a deal. And when I got older, I like started to have like a patch over my eye, over my left eye, my healthy eye, to like train up my right eye. Like for like 30 minutes a day or something. And I can see out of that eye. I can see, though, like not perfectly fine. It's a bit like it's a bit harder than out of my left eye. But basically, because of my eyelid hanging over my eye, some of the fucking nerve perceptors or whatever the hell, they just stopped working completely because I don't use that eye as much as I would use like my regular healthy left eye. So literally they just said, well, we're not needed here. See you never. And yeah, so I have like, I can't see as well with my right eye. And hold on, I'm trying to get back to my train of thought. It's kind of like drifting away from me. I'm struggling. So yeah, if I'm like straining my eyes a lot, I've noticed that recently. Like if I get something like too close to me, I noticed once on like a call, on like a Facebook Messenger call with my mom. We used the video call, and I just noticed that when things get like too close to me, my right eye drifts out to the side because it kind of like just cuts out and lets the left eye do all the work. And that's kind of what happens too when I cross my eyes. Like my right eye just stops working because I can like barely see out of that at all. Like I don't know how to explain it. I mean, I don't even see it that double, to be honest. The right eye said, not today, not ever, never again. That's what it said. It's kind of fascinating, but it kind of sucks too, because that means stuff like this just doesn't work for me. And that's also the reason why 3D glasses don't work on me. Do the glasses help? I haven't gotten them yet. But I'm hoping that once I get them, it will help.
Keep adjusting the position of your eyes until the two images overlap exactly in the middle.
I can't do it. Like, this is it? No. Ryunosuke, if you're me, you can't do it. You're making me feel really...
There, you managed it! So now you know how stereoscopic images work.
No, I fucking don't. I can't do it! Iris, stop! Wow. Iris, I feel like you're mocking us. Exactly. I do not appreciate. Wow, Iris, this is so ableist of you.
Well, I don't know who discovered it, but it really is quite extraordinary.
Well, someone with 20/20 vision, apparently. My god.
So what do you think of these stereoscopic prints then, Runo?
They're certainly amazing, but it isn't easy to get the knack of viewing them properly. Yeah, I'll fucking say. Like, I can cross my eyes, but like, I can barely see out of my right eye. And if I do, I assume it has to be like really close.
No, some people find it easier than others. But that's why contraptions like this exist, for people who find it tricky.
You know what? I would 100% bet that still wouldn't work for me. It would just look blurry. And I would be like, yes! I can see the blur.
Oh, I recognize that. We saw one over there yesterday, didn't we?
We just... whatever.
If I remember correctly, you press this little knob here. Then set the pair of photographs in the stand at the back and...
It's still amazing even though I know roughly how it works now.
Well, London seems to agree with you. Stereoscopes are very popular at the moment. You can find one of these folding contraptions in lots of households in the capital currently.
But if these little machines are so affordable, surely there's no need to go around staring cross-eyed at pictures like you hate them.
But it's much more satisfying to be able to see the effect with your own eyes.
Well, I think so in any case. Iris, fuck you! Fuck you! No! Fuck you! I hate this! This is awful! Stereoscopic pictures. Can we get out of this? Can we please move on to something else? I never even heard of them until yesterday. My vision is kind of wonky. My eyes cannot change between depths in a good way. It can take a few minutes before they register depth changes. It's just blurry before they register. Eventually they do. I get that. You've certainly learned a lot about them, but I wonder if it's knowledge that I'll ever actually need. We really just took it, huh? That's why I have glasses, which actually work. That's good. I know that, like, when I went to, like, check my eyes last time, I got showed, like, some pictures and stuff, and not really pictures, just, like, symbols, and was just, like, asked to, like, was told to let the guy know when they, like, stopped overlapping and started, like, splitting apart, and when they, like, went back together again, to, like, find out how much he, like, needs to, like, I don't know, shift the eyeglass by. By the way, that UNESCO phrase that I wonder if people need to know this makes me think that stereoscopes are going to be important for this case. Yeah, of course they are. Of course they fucking are. Wow. That ledger that's open on the counter there really is enormous, isn't it? I hate when they do that. It wasn't that bad actually. Like the 1-2 is way worse. But like the shifting was fine. It just was really confusing because sometimes I was just so focused on it, and then suddenly I relaxed my eyes and suddenly they were just like really far apart, and I'm like, how long have they been like that? So I'm just like, oh wait. But it's fine. I'm pretty sure we like nailed it in the end. It should be okay. What's the difference? I don't know, man. They both look terrible. No, that's not it. That's the 1 or 2, yeah. The 1 or 2 was actually kind of fine for me this time. Though there have been times where I'm just like, I can't fucking see the difference, my guy. But like this time, last time, it was actually like surprisingly just like, can I just like see number 3 again? Can I see number 4 again? It was actually really helpful, and that I'm pretty confident about. I'm like less confident about the shifting. One or 2. I did not know there was going to be a multiple choice test. I did not study for this. No, I know what you mean. I've done some of those. Are just like, I don't know. I can't fucking tell the difference. I can't see jack shit anyway. Is this better? Is this worse? I don't know, man. You tell me. But yeah, basically I had like some dots or something in front of me, and he was just like shifting like one eye back and forth. Well, not the eye, but like the glass, you know, shifting it like back and forth, probably like tilting it. I don't fucking know how this works. Don't ask me how it works. But yeah, basically, so I was just like gonna like let him know when it like there were like two of those images or whatever, like it duplicated. And once it did, he would like shift them the other way again. And then I would have to let him know when they merged together as one. And also sometimes when they split apart, he told me when I told him that they split apart, he told me to try and get them to like merge back together again, and if I could do that, he would continue until I wasn't able to do it again. And that was kind of hard because sometimes I was able to like do it for like a split second. So it was just like it was like, do they merge back together? And I was like, yes, no, wait, no, no. No, they do not. Like, so like I'm the most like anxious about that, to see if like what I answered there actually worked out in the end, though I believe it did, but who knows. It must be an awful lot of work to keep track of all these hundreds of items in pawn.
It's too much to think about. Better to sell it all and have a clear head, if you ask me.
He was preparing you for the stereoscopes. But clearly Mr. Winterbank was very careful when it came to the articles in his care. Right, there isn't anything more here now. No, okay, cool. Over here then. This is a strange contraption that lets you see pictures of things as if they're right in front of your eyes. Yeah, stereoscopes. We've been through this. Why did I? Makes you think when Mr. Sholmes gleefully showed it to us yesterday. We were blissfully unaware that any of this was about to happen. Okay, thank God there wasn't any more about that. I don't think it could have dealt with that any one moment further. This officer has been staring intently at the wall since before we came in here. At the wall? Sounds like me that one time. I don't even remember what it was. But I was like... I was supposed to do my homework or something. And my mom had like confiscated my phone or something. Or I just wasn't allowed to use it while I was doing homework. And I swear, one time I actually got like distracted by the wall. The wall. The wall was more interesting than homework. A wall. Shh, keep it down. Oh, sorry. It's a major clue just here.
Really? We must tell Gregsy at once.
As soon as they report it, that'll be it. I'll be stuck here even longer. Stuck here? Stuck here? What do you mean? I haven't been home in 2 days already. I need another constable to relieve me and take over my shift. They really have a tough time, the British police.
That doesn't stop us investigating though, does it?
No, I suppose not. I'm fairly sure it was the calendar he was peering at. Oh yeah, that's right. Look here.
Oh yes, the bullet hole. And I can see the bullet is still lodged in the wall.
Presumably Mr. Winterbank wasn't practicing with his revolver in his spare time.
Well, Mr. Sholmes likes to practice in his drawing room whenever he can. He's very patriotic like that.
Sorry? In Germany, they call it STEREOGRAPHS. Yeah, we call it here too. But it's not, that wasn't like what I did. I was actually like focusing on the wall. Like at least there was some kind of pattern there. It wasn't just like a plain white wall, but still. It was still a wall.
It's all there in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, you know. Isn't that right, Iris? Ah, did I write something like that? Partly in jest, perhaps? In jest? Well, he doesn't do it often. It is quite a dangerous pastime.
He doesn't do it often. He shouldn't even do it once.
Forget that for now, Bruno. Let's examine this bullet.
What's that around the bullet hole? Is it blood? A suspicious red stain on the calendar.
Aha! I may well be able to help with that.
What?
There's nothing like the sight of blood to get the blood pumping, is there, Bruno?
I have a feeling I'm not as bloody-minded as you, Iris.
I'm afraid the sight of blood makes my blood run cold. There you have it, you see? When it comes to blood, we're all different types.
Yes, what a scientific observation. Wall patterns are cool though. I like tracing patterns and seeing if I can make a consecutive line from point A to point B without overlapping. Yeah, that makes sense. Sorry, I got really quiet there.
So you need this.
Oh no, what is that scary looking thing?
Holly and I haven't actually come up with a name for it yet. But as soon as you see it in action, you'll understand what it does. Watch!
Oh! The color of the bloodstain has changed.
There! Does it make sense now?
Yes, I think I'm starting to understand. Is this luminol? Not quite, because luminol glows like more blue, doesn't it?
Good. It works on the principle that different people have different types of blood, you see. Yes, how wonderful. The chemical of fires combines with the blood and makes it change color. So you can identify whose blood it is that you're looking at in a flash. Oh, what a fabulous invention, Iris. Isn't it? Isn't it? I bet Jenny would say it's bleeding great.
So, whose blood are we looking at then?
Well, all the chemical does is turn the blood a different color, so... Just find someone whose blood turns the same color and you'll know who it belongs to. In a flash.
So different people have different colored blood? You know what? That doesn't seem like a good idea. It's more like two flashes really, isn't it?
One flash or two. This could well turn out to be a very valuable clue. So we must make a note of it in the court record. Let's keep testing and adding the results of any other blood analysis to the portfolio. As long as I have reagent left, sure.
Ooh, that's cool. I like that. Green blood. It just seems wrong somehow.
Oh, there are all sorts of different colors. There are pretty pinks and purples too, you know. Like I said, everyone's blood is different.
I wonder what color my blood would turn out. Actually, I don't want to know. Come on, it's easy. Okay, that's everything in here. Oh, the door.
Behind that door is the storeroom, isn't it? That's what Gregsy said.
Yes, and that's where I saw that dreadful scene last night. Through the little window in the door. Mr. Winterbank, face down on the floor, and Gina beside him.
As the accused's legal representative, you have the right to examine the scene, Mr. Naruhodo. We must make a thorough investigation.
Yes, of course, and we will. Behind that door. That's the real scene of the crime.
Don't worry. If there are clues in there, I'll find them.
Now we can go in there, probably. Yes. Poor Iris. She's clammed up completely.
Iris is bound to find this difficult. After all, Mr. Winterbank's life was taken in this very room only last night.
Oh! Wait, Inspector! What is it now, Sunshine? You took one look at me and tried to run away. You think a Scotland Yard inspector would run away from some jumped up little defense lawyer, do you? Well... I've never seen her ladyship looking like that before, is the thing. I didn't know what to say to her. So you weren't running away from me, you were running away from a 10-year-old. Makes sense. Adds up.
I'm afraid this is a little too much for young Iris. Some gentle reassurance might go a long way, perhaps, Inspector.
Hey? Don't trouble yourself unduly, your ladyship. I mean, at least you're not dead, are you? I don't think that went very well. Yeah, no shit. Why? Look, I'm in the middle of an investigation here, Sunshine, and I told you not to get under my feet.
And we have investigating to do ourselves.
Yes. I'd like to hear more of what this socially inept inspector has to say.
Oh, Harley!
And inquire into how Mr. Sholmes' operation is going. I'm gonna examine first. Look at all these articles that have been deposited. The room is stuffed full of them.
I can't believe how many there are. A bicycle, a gramophone, musical instruments, even some enormous paintings, look.
Pieces of different people's lives, quietly gathering dust in here together. There's something very peaceful about the atmosphere in here. Or at least there would be, if not for the chalk outline on the floor and the policemen shuffling around. Not much I can do about that, Sunshine. Out of all the articles in the storeroom, this is the only thing that shows any sign of being ransacked. What is it, Iris?
That's the box file that my manuscript was being kept in. Oh.
Iris is some published story, The Hound of the Baskervilles. Surely that's not what all this...
Sorry, Iris, but if you ask me, he sold it.
I'm cold. Why am I cold? I have a fucking... I got a heater! I got the heater! Got it on sale. My mom checked it and was like, oh, it's on sale now. And we can actually just go and get it ourselves. They had it in store. Instead of paying way too much to have it sent here.
Without telling you.
Mao, no post-nor bullshit. Yeah, exactly.
We must check inside the box at once. Yes. It was there. Iris's story was there.
Really? It was? Well, that's good news, isn't it, Iris? Is it warm? Yeah, no, it's decent. I just guess I'm kind of cold, but it's fine.
Yes. I mean, of course I believed Hurley when he said he deposited it here, but still. It's a relief to actually see it.
Really? Because that's not a very well hidden frown. This is a revolver. A real one.
And quite possibly the murder weapon used to take Mr. Windybank's life. What's the matter, Susie? You and Bruno look like you were about to faint. Well, it's just that I've rarely seen a gun in the flesh.
And I've had issues with guns in the past. But anyway, we saw Mr. Windybank with this yesterday, didn't we? I shall have to take my own life. It must be the same gun. And last night, when I looked through the spy hole in the door of the storeroom there, that was the same gun I saw in Gina's hand.
Mr. Windybank told us that he only ever had a single bullet loaded in his revolver, didn't he? Well, it's empty now. The one and only bullets he had in his gun has been fired.
So we can be fairly certain that only a single shot was fired from this revolver. The police have marked the position of the body with a chalk line.
Poor Mr. Windybank. He was a nice old man.
Well, he was shot just once through the heart. Most likely, the fellow died instantly. He wouldn't have felt a thing. This must be his blood then.
Huh? I don't like to ask at such a wretched time, Iris, but I wonder if perhaps... Don't worry, Susie. I'm ready for action.
Blue!
So now we know the color the chemical returns when it reacts with Mr. Windybank's blood. And it doesn't match our analysis of the bloodstain we found in the main shop. No, but let's add this sample to the others we've already collected anyway.
Iris?
Don't worry, I'm all right. But we must find the true culprit. Yes, absolutely.
So, Inspector, What do you make of the crime scene here? You've got eyes, haven't you? Use them. Yeah, it's not too much left. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. This is what it looks like. Nothing more. Nothing left. Iris, could you lend me a hand?
So, Grexy, what do you make of the crime scene here?
Oh, yes, your ladyship, do allow me to humbly explain. Last night, at shortly after the hour of 1 o'clock in the morning, Scotland Yard police attended the scene. The one and only door to the storeroom was found locked from the inside. So it was locked from the inside.
The lock appears to be broken now, though. What's that the police officer's doing?
Quite right, ma'am, quite right. We took the liberty of smashing the door in as humbly as possible. Calm down, Greg, no need to get hostile.
Oh,
As you can see, the victim was discovered prostrate on the floor, thuswise. And next to the aforementioned body, we discovered the vile gutter child.
you're talking about Ginny. She's my friend, you know, Inspector.
Miss Lestrade, the hapless girl, was curled up on the floor, dead to the world. She's still alive, you know. Yes, when I saw her, she appeared to be unconscious. Please stop putting your fish and chips in your pockets. It makes me uncomfortable. What, are those his pockets, or is it just like hands on his hips kind of thing? No, I'm not sure. No, it has to be his pockets. I'm afraid to say she had the gun that was used in her hand.
No!
Presumably it's the gun that's still down there on the floor now. It's in his pocket since he has nothing in his hands later. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. I'm just like, no, he just drops it midair and gets a new one also out of thin air. In her pocket, we found the key to the door as well. What? The key to the storeroom?
And you say the storeroom had been locked from the inside, Inspector?
Correct. All of which leaves her ladyship's friend in something of a sticky situation, I'm afraid. That pocket must be so disgusting, just greasy, crumbly, ketchupy. Yeah. Obviously, my personal opinion is that it's all some sort of misunderstanding. Of course it is, Inspector. Of course it is.
Craigsy, do you know anything about Hurley? Is the operation finished? Is Hurley alright? Is he?
Well, the thing is,
Don't mince your words, Inspector, please. You don't mean to say that Mr. Sholmes is...
No, the operation's done and dusted. It's just that, well...
Hell with it!
Yes, ma'am. They use something called a general anesthetic. It's the latest thing, renders the whole body insensitive. The whole body... Anesthetized? Anesthetized. Whatever. Is that even possible? It means the operation can be completed while the patient is fast asleep.
Goodness, in the Emperor of Japan, we can just manage to provide laughing gas for a tooth extraction.
The trouble is, the latest thing isn't always the greatest thing, if you follow my meaning. They couldn't get the medication to work at first, so it took hours for him to nod off, so I hear. And now that the op's finished, they can't get him to wake up, apparently.
Oh my!
No one knows if the anesthetic is still in the system, or if the bloke's just plain exhausted. But anyway, all they can do is stand back and watch until he comes around again.
Hurley!
The moment he opens his eyes, your ladyship, I swear, I shall get word to you. What a surprise. Even in matters of life and death, Mr. Sholmes has to do things his way. Okay, let's just present everything. See what he has to say. Inspector, what do you make of this? Ah, what have we here then? A redemption ticket for an article deposited here. Is it? Looks like someone ran out of the office stationery and wrote the ticket on whatever paper was to hand. Yes, this is it's the ticket for McGilded's overcoat. The one that little diver turned up with yesterday. Oh, actually, no, it's not. Really? Think you know better than me, do you? No, I didn't mean to.
Bruno's right, Rexy. It isn't the same ticket.
Wait, this is the, oh, this one small box. Of course it isn't, of course it isn't. I never doubted you, your ladyship. God, shut up. So, what's all this about then, if I may be so bold as to ask?
This is a second ticket.
A second one? It seems that Mr. McGilded in fact had another article in storage here at Windybanks. Is that right?
I think we need to discuss this further with the inspector, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, good, because he's ever so easy to talk to. This ticket was in one of the pockets of Mr. McGilded's overcoat. You mean to tell me? Yes, there was more than just the music box disc, it seems. I should have insisted on the lads taking it back to the yard and examining it properly.
Well, according to the details on this ticket, Mr. McGilded deposited another article here with Mr. Windybank.
Yes, I can see it written here. A small box, was it?
Do you have any idea where it is, Grexy? Any idea at all? It's another article belonging to Mr. McGilded. It could be an important clue.
Well, yes, I suppose it could be. Please, stop looking at me with those big turquoise eyes, all full of hope and expectation. It's too much pressure. I'll lose me marbles, I will. I'll go balking. This is no time for dog impressions, Inspector. That's enough sauce from you, Sunshine. Okay. Could it maybe be the open box in the background? No, that's for the, that's for this. Oh, the little heart. That's kind of cute. I forgot about that. There's one thing that springs to mind. According to this ticket, the redemption deadline's already passed, hasn't it?
Oh, yes, of course. Articles are only held for 2 months. So the small box will no longer be in here then.
That's right, it's been forfeited.
Which means it could be on the shelves in the front of the shop, where the forfeited items are offered for sale.
Yes, the shelves in the front. We must search them at once. You're wasting your time.
Oh,
there are dozens of little boxes out there. Hundreds even. We can't possibly know which one it might have been McGilded's. That information's not written in the ledger. Ugh.
Well, I think we should at least have a look, just in case.
Of course, your ladyship, of course. Very sensible of you, I'm sure. That model ship has a Dutch flag, you're so right, it does. Do we need to present more? No, I don't think there's anything for that. Okay. We don't tend to share whatever. What about this? Is it the same? No. Yes. Is that what I think it is? Your ladyship's latest...
Yes, my latest story. It's called The Hound of the Baskervilles.
A most fascinating title, your ladyship. Fascinating. And I don't suppose, would there be any mention of my humble self in the tale this time?
Good question. I can't really remember.
I see. Well, why would you, your ladyship? I'll just await his publication with eager anticipation. You needn't worry, Inspector. I'm sure if you do appear, you won't be doing anything particularly remarkable. Wow. You're looking to be arrested, Sunshine. I didn't mean it like that, and even if I did, you wouldn't have bitten her ladyship's head off, would you? I have a feeling they made these not the right evidence scenes long on purpose so that the player wouldn't just spam. But the thing is that you can just skip it if you've already been through it once. Gina doesn't appear to be here.
Well, I believe she must be in questioning at the moment. Oh, but wait a minute.
What is it, Iris?
Well, if you examine the scene here carefully, there's another possibility, isn't there? Gina could have slipped the key from the jailer when he wasn't looking and escaped.
Oh my! Why would you do something like that? It would only make her situation worse.
Calm down, Bruno. I was only joking, of course.
Oh. It had me worried there. I thought it was a great deduction.
Yes, it must be your way with words, Iris. You're so wonderfully persuasive. Perhaps you don't fully understand the weight your words carry. Oh dear, I'm sorry. I suppose the light-hearted grey detective is a contradiction in terms.
Well, in the same situation, I'm sure Mr. Sholmes would just have thrown his head back and guffawed.
I'm not entirely sure that's helpful, Mr. Naruhodo.
Well, anyway, it looks like we won't be able to talk to Gina for a while. We should try to make progress with our investigation in the meantime.
Yes. Come along then, Bruno. Come along, Susie.
Okay, cool. Okay, let's go back to the main shop, I guess. No. There is nothing here. Saint sinners, yes. Nothing here. Nothing here either. Go on. Still something in the back room? Okay. Upon entering, talk to Inspector Gregson. Seeing the crime, show separation, present the pawnbroker's ticket. You can talk about the second redemption ticket. I already did that. Don't go back onto the shop, instead examine the shelves and the open chest. Inside the chest is an item that Iris recognizes as Iris' story manuscript. Will be added to the court record. Examine the victim's traces to update the blood samples portfolio, and lastly examine the revolver. After everything has been investigated, the chime on the grandfather clock signifies that the prison closing is closing within hours, so move to the prison. But obviously there's something I missed then. But not here. In the main shop, maybe? Okay, wait, actually, let me... Examine the calendar. Pan left. Examine the counter. Talk to Iris. Pair of photographs. How stereoscopic prints work. Blah 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 blah. Present the recently acquired tickets. Ah, okay. Yeah. Did I... I don't know. Do you mind if I showed you this, Iris? It's just a boring old thing, really, but...
Oh, I don't really like boring things.
Ah, it looks like Japanese modesty is easily misinterpreted by young Western children.
I mean, who does like boring things? No one wants to be shown something boring. Come to think of it, you're always introducing things with this is boring, but it's a bad habit. You should stop it.
I'll be sure to let the entire population of the Empire of Japan know on my return. Okay, let me just try to show her as much as possible, I guess. The way you can identify differences in people's blood like this is amazing. You really are a genius, Iris.
I know, I am. If Hurley and I put our minds to it, we could really shake up Britain's chemists and alchemists. And you could shake up Japan's lawyers and judges, couldn't you, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh, for sure, even if I didn't intend to.
Oh, my manuscript.
Mr. Sholmes said he just posited it at Windybanks, and he had.
But it's so strange. What is it about this particular story? I worked so hard on it. Why would Hurley say I can't publish it?
I'm afraid I have no idea. All you can do is wait until he's ready to tell you, I suppose.
Oh, maybe. It's because Hurley isn't in it enough. Maybe I didn't give him enough good lines.
Maybe there is something on the evidence we missed? Like when the business card had to be looked at for the number? Maybe. Wish I could say that definitely isn't the reason, but I can't. This is the ticket that Gina brought in here yesterday.
Yes, having been entrusted to her by Mr. McGilda 2 months earlier. Article deposited one gentleman's overcoat.
And the other redemption ticket was in the pocket of that coat.
Yes, for a small box deposited 2 days before the omnibus incident.
Could that have anything to do with all this? What about now? Can I do it now? Nope. Ooh, blood, yeah. Maybe I have to...
Mr. Naruhodo, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's something rather troubling here.
I have noticed.
The red smear, you mean?
Yes, it looks like blood, doesn't it? I wondered if Susato-san had picked up on that. Well, in that case...
Yes, we need Iris.
We should show this to her before we forget. There we go. No, I literally was in percent. I'm dumb.
Oh, that looks like blood.
I would say it's from a gloved finger. Almost certainly a glove made of leather.
Well, don't worry, Bruno. You can leave the rest to me.
What color? Purple. Look at that.
Yes, that's a color we haven't seen before, isn't it?
Sometimes I hate when the game is so specific. And it's not really that specific though.
We simply must add it to the portfolio of blood samples. It could be an important clue. Although, it would be nice to find out whose blood these different colors correspond to at some point.
Well, this particular stain of blood.
Oh, you've had an idea, haven't you? Do you know whose blood this is?
I think I do. Yes, I have an idea whose blood it is. Not from the color returned, but with a little deduction.
That's right. I think it's clear. Iris, you know as well.
I guess that Mason's blood? Yeah.
You first, Bruno. Who do you think it belongs to?
Alright, I believe this is the blood of Thrice-Fired Mason. Thrice-Fired Mason.
You don't sound very sure of yourself the way you trailed off there.
Oh, Thrice-Fired Mason? Well, it was 2 months ago now, that case, and of course I'd never met the victim, so I'm struggling to remember his name. He was definitely thrice-fired, though.
The victim of the omnibus case. Yes, his name was indeed Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason. But that would mean that this bloodstain was left on the ticket 2 months ago.
Yes, I think it was. Gina brought this ticket here to Windybanks yesterday. I'm suggesting that the bloodstain was already on it at that time.
So it's a smear of blood from the time that Mr. Mason was killed 2 months ago. Something else is coming back to me now. Mr. McGilded was also wearing leather gloves that night.
Now I ask you, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fella bleeding from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about me gloves now, was I? I reached over to give the man a hand. It certainly does look like a leather-gloved thumbprint, this mark. But we know that Mr. McGilded had no injuries at the time anywhere on his body. Weren't Gina's hands covered in his blood as well? I think so. Yeah, they were. From which we can conclude that any blood on the glove belonged to the victim, Mr. Mason.
Mr. Naruhodo, you sound just like Mr. Sholmes.
Minus the quirky slip-ups, I hope.
Yes, I think you're right, Bruno. Very well, let's make a note of this.
Nice.
Aha! I nearly jumped out of my skin there. How could Mr. Windybank set such a wicked trap?
I doubt he set it out to scare anyone.
Is that really the time?
Damn, that is many clocks. My autistic ass could never fucking deal with that.
I think perhaps we should pay Gina another visit soon.
Oh?
Her trial is tomorrow. We must establish whether or not you will be defending her. I think we should ask her one more time. She may have changed her mind.
Oh god, the ticking.
Don't you remember, Bruno?
This was before silent clocks. Quote-unquote silent clocks. I still fucking hear that silent clock I have right behind me. He cannot possibly have the most synced either? Why not?
You told her she could rip up the representation papers if she didn't want you to be her lawyer.
Really? Did I say that?
Yes, you did. The deadline for submitting the paperwork is fast approaching.
In that case, we had better hurry back to the prison and talk to Gina again. I just figured it'd be hard to do. I don't know. Ah, Gina, good. You're back.
Huh? The police must have finished questioning her then. Oh, how was it, Ginny? Was it awful?
Iris?
Oh, didn't bother me.
Thank you for the papers you signed before. It meant we were able to investigate at Windybanks. Oh, right.
Don't you want to know how we got on? We've been ever so busy.
What's the point in asking? Won't change what everyone's saying. That I did it.
That's not...
Gina, we came to ask for your final decision.
What decision?
About tomorrow's trial. Will you let me defend you or not?
I must submit the paperwork now if you'd like Mr. Naruhodo to represent you.
Right, I see. She's really lost her fight all of a sudden. But I know what that feels like. The worry is just so hard to bear.
Oh, alright then. Blimey, give it a rest with the mice, Iris. So come on then, fill us in. Who done it?
Unfortunately, we don't know that yet.
You don't say. We don't know yet, Gina. But Mr. Naruhodo and all of us know that you are innocent of this crime.
And while we haven't yet managed to work out who the real culprit is, there are a number of interesting facts that we have managed to establish.
Oh yeah? Like what?
Well, for example, the reason for you being there in the first place. I think I know now why you broke into Windybanks that night. Looks like I'm going to have to take some evidence that clearly reveals the reason and thrust it in Gina's face. Or I could present it to her calmly, I suppose. What did he say? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention really. Oh. Do you see this pawnbroker's ticket, Gina? It's the one you took to Windybanks, isn't it? The one for that black overcoat that you're wearing now.
What? That? I don't know. They all look the same to me, those tickets.
Surely not. Well, this one has a very obvious mark on it that would appear to be blood. Does that ring any bells?
I don't know. It all looks the same to me, Blood.
And they all sound the same to me, these answers. Suspicious.
We already have the representation papers and other documents we need. All we have to do is hand them to the court clerk.
That is, if you'll allow me to represent you in court tomorrow.
Oh, Eric, hi! What's up? Nah, don't bother. Jenny, rip him up and chuck him, would ya? Them representation papers, or whatever they're called. The cell ain't fancy enough to have a bin.
So, what will you do in court tomorrow?
I'll be fine on my own. I don't think you will be. Look, it doesn't matter. What's gonna happen is gonna happen.
This is one stubborn pickpocket. Gina, look at this. I wasn't saying you could have it. Okay, whatever. Okay, I don't care. It's just filler. There we go. Is it this I need to show maybe? Nope, that's not it. Oh, of course, this! I forgot. I found this in Mr. Windybank's storeroom. The manuscript of Iris's latest story. Oh, right. Well, that's good then. Curiously, the storeroom at Windybank showed no sign of being ransacked for items or of value or the like. With one exception, the box file that housed this manuscript. It was you, wasn't it, Gina, who broke open the box containing this manuscript last night. You were determined to find out whether or not the Hound of the Baskervilles really was there. That's the real reason you broke into the storeroom last night, isn't it? Why don't you tell us what happened, please? Alright, yeah. This Baskerville story it's the latest Sholmes adventure, right? But it ain't been printed yet. So I figure it's gotta be worth a few pieces of silver, right?
Oh yes, at least 5,000 pounds.
What? So you intended to sell Iris's manuscript, did you?
No, Ginny, how could you?
What? Wait, no, hang on. Cause I wasn't gonna sell it. All I wanted to do was find out if the manuscript or whatever you call it really was there or not. That's the only reason I was in the place.
For Iris's sake, isn't that right?
We knew why you'd done it from the start, Gina. Of course we did. But
I knew you wouldn't do anything mean like that, Ginny. I just knew it.
well, when I saw the manuscript in the storeroom, it reminded me of what you'd said the night before. Grown-ups do a lot worse than that, believe me. Barefaced liars, a lot of them. You just ain't realized it yet. We're not even at the trial yet, no. This is gonna take a while. No, I'm almost done. I'm almost done with the investigation. This is the last part. I'm telling you, that manuscript ain't at Windybank's. You'd soon see it if you had a look.
If I'm honest, I have wondered if Hurley is telling me the truth sometimes. I mean that I sometimes wonder if he might have hidden my manuscript somewhere I don't know.
The case is gonna take a while. Yeah, no, I believe that. There are like still 4 more parts. And they're all trials, so.
Even though it's wrong of me to doubt him.
I think it's like a 9-hour case as far as I remember. Only 9 hours? Damn, that's short.
Oh, Ginny, that was so sweet of you.
Alright. I'll tell you why I did it. Just stop looking at me like that, Iris. It wasn't because of Iris, that's not why I did it. I just want to know the truth, that's all.
You wanted to know if Mr. Sholmes was being honest? If he'd really deposited the manuscript at Windybank's?
It's like I told you the night before. I never had a father. But Iris's lot ain't like mine. She's got a dad, only she can't see him. And I reckon that's gotta be harder. That's why she writes her stories. They're about her dad, really. That's what it sounded like to me, anyway. Last night when I was listening to what you were saying.
Stories about Daddy?
You mean, they're not the adventures of a great detective, so much as the adventures of a great detective and his trusty partner. Well, that's how I see it, yeah.
You're so thoughtful and so kind, Ginny. Yes, and we never thought any differently, did we?
Look, give it a rest, will ya? I ate all this chummy nonsense. D'ye hear? I ate it. I don't trust no one, right? That's how I work. Because if you don't trust no one can let you down. So leave me alone. Go on, Scarpa. Can we take a look at your cuffs? I hadn't noticed until now, but it's unmistakable. Right there on both sleeves of that overcoat. There are some very suspicious red stains. What? Why are you looking at me like that? Why are you looking at me like that? I think it might be worth presenting some of our other findings in the area to Gina now. Those stains on the sleeves of your new coat, Gina. They're blood, aren't they? Not that I know whose blood yet. What?
Blood, Mr. Naruhodo.
You don't appear to have any obvious wounds yourself, though. So could it be blood that spattered from Mr. Windybank when he was shot last night?
Let's not beat around the bush here. This trusty friend of mine will get the results much faster than anything else.
Take it easy, Iris.
Don't move, Ginny. I'm going to shoot.
I had to take a screenshot of that.
Oh. Oh my.
What the? Forget the sleeves. The whole coat is covered in blood. Of course. They just straight up shoot her. They really do. The black color of the fabric was masking the stains. That's why we haven't seen them until now.
And the blood has reacted with the chemical to turn a purple color, which matches one of the samples we've already collected perfectly. Yes, now let's see. Who had the purple... The purple blood. Ha ha! Yes! It was the brickmaker, Mr. Mason, the victim of the murder case 2 months ago.
I knew it. What are you all on about? The victim? What do you mean?
It's a rather uncomfortable situation, Mr. Naruhodo, but I think this makes things quite clear. It means the omnibus case is finally solved. The truth about who really murdered the brickmaker, Mr. Mason, is revealed.
Oi! Would someone explain what's going on? Stop telling half a story! We can see now that the victim's blood is all over Mr. McGilda's overcoat.
But in the trial 2 months ago, the defendant said this in his testimony.
Now I ask you, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fellow bleeding from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about my gloves now, was I? I reached out to give the man a hand. But if you look at this overcoat now, it's clear. These stains couldn't have arisen from McGilda trying to pull the victim to his feet.
No, if that was what had really happened, the blood wouldn't have splashed all over the front of the coat.
The only explanation for this pattern of blood is that it splattered over McGilda's coat when he stabbed the victim in the stomach. I've tried to run from the truth for long enough, but there is no escaping it now. The true culprit in that case, Mr. Mason's killer, was Magnus McGilded.
Mr. Naruhodo.
That horrible case is solved at last. And I helped the man walk free from that trial. I used all that twisted testimony and all that sham evidence to prove his innocence. How could I have let that happen?
Bruno, did you believe him though?
You had doubts about that? That man was guilty as soon as you started evil laughing.
Did you believe Mr. McGilded was innocent?
I believed, or rather, I think I was trying to believe. I wanted to. Because believing in those you represent in court is a defense lawyer's greatest weapon.
A weapon?
Before we came to Great Britain, a great friend of mine taught me a valuable lesson.
You mean Kazuma-sama?
Listen, Ryunosuke. We lawyers are only human. We can't know for sure what is the truth and what is a lie. Which is why we must resort to our primary weapon. An unwavering belief in our clients. That's all we really have. Unwavering belief. Only when we truly believe that what our clients tell us, can we fight with everything we have for their cause. In any battle, there can be no victory without faith. So I believe you, unwaveringly. I keep forgetting Bay is dead. What's funny, Gina?
Cool. Sounds like this is like in this Empire of Japan you come from. Everyone must be soft. Well, come on. Look at the mess it's got you into, believing in that bug trial.
Yes, I inadvertently helped a murderer walk free.
Well, at least you've learnt your lesson now, eh? Believing in people's never worth it. Someone always stabs you in the back in the end. Soon as you let down your guard, you've had it. Take a leaf out of my book. Believe no one, get hurt by no one.
Tina, may I ask you something?
What?
I'd just like to make absolutely sure. What would you like us to do with these representation papers for tomorrow's trial?
How many times do I have to say it? Rip them up and chuck them away.
Are you really sure that's what you want?
I bet that's what you want to know now, Mr. I'm a believer lawyer over there. Don't forget it was me in that trial 2 months ago. I led everyone up to the garden path, didn't I? And you're telling me you can't believe in me after that? Not likely.
Well, Miss Naruhodo, a lawyer's primary weapon is an unwavering belief in his clients. Ultimately, it comes down to whether or not I feel I can trust Gina after everything that's happened.
Can I answer that?
I want to save first. Hold on, let me just... Oh, there it is. Save there. But what choice do I really have here? I have to believe in her. Although I can hardly believe myself that I'm making this choice in spite of everything. Let's just put it down to one of life's little curiosities. Gina, let me say it again. Please allow me to represent you in tomorrow's trial.
What, are you half-baked?
Not at all. You've not once admitted to committing the crime, have you? Just because you lied about something 2 months ago does not mean you are guilty of murder now. She did commit perjury, though. What's more, I believe that you're telling me the truth.
Seriously, Mr. Naruhodo.
Isn't perjury just fancy lying? Well, sure, if you want to call it that. Mr. Naruhodo.
Didn't you hear all what I said before? I'm a born liar. Fibs just trip off me tongue. And I'm a diver, don't forget. I pulled the wool over your eyes 2 months ago and got you into all sorts of trouble. Why would you ever trust me now? I just don't get it. Gina, I do understand why you chose not to put your trust in others. But I assure you, there is more to this life than you yet realize. What do you mean? The world we live in is full of people you would do very well to trust. People who would never let you down.
It's true that I'm just a student of law and I'm certainly lacking in courtroom experience. But I can promise you this. Whatever happens, and until my very last breath, I am completely on your side.
What do you expect me to say to that?
Mr. Narrow-Odo.
Then it's decided. I will take these papers now and carry out the necessary preparations for tomorrow's trial. It would be a shame to throw them away now after it's been penned with your name so beautifully.
Do what you like. You Eastern law I don't know what you are. I don't get you. Shouldn't it be to your very last breath, since apparently murder is punished by death? Whatever. Gina's taken herself off to the back of her cell. She'd never admit it, but I hope she's feeling relieved. That turned out alright in the end, I think.
Whoever's hiding there, show yourself at once. Eavesdropping is the height of cowardice.
Mr. Sato.
Somebody is there in the shadows. I can sense it. Somebody who wasn't there before.
What? It's Sholmes, isn't it? No. Gregson? Your shop, eh? Yeah, Gregson. I suppose you were using one of those mystic Japanese arts, like the art of stealth I've heard so much about. If anyone was being stealthy, it was you, Inspector.
Grexy!
Oh, dear me. I'm most terribly sorry, Your Ladyship. I didn't mean to startle you.
How long have you been listening in on our conversation?
Grief! Listening in? No. I just got word that there were some visitors who were refusing to leave even though it was after hours. I'll assure you, Your Ladyship, I only just arrived this very minute, not a moment earlier. And so it is, nothing untoward, nothing at all. After hours? Is it that late already? So then, I'll humbly excuse myself now, Your Ladyship. Ta-ta, toodaloo, cheerio, all the best, bye-bye, bye-bye and bye. That's a lot of farewells, and not one of them appropriate for Her Ladyship.
Oh, but I wanted to have a chat.
I'm terribly sorry, but time's pressing at the minute.
Oh, I see. That's a shame.
I don't get this emergency at the Supreme Court dealt with sharpish. Lord Strongheart will tell. Well,
Emergency?
Lord Strongheart. Nothing. Forget I said anything. Anyway, I'm off.
All right, Grexy, if you have to, but let's chat soon.
Delighted, charmed, can't wait. If you please, my pleasure. That's a lot of pleasantries, and not one of them sounded sincere.
Grexy is so funny. He says such silly things.
It's certainly entertaining to see an inspector of the police fawning to a 10-year-old girl. But anyway, I wonder what this emergency is at the Supreme Court.
I must attend to the court clerk's office now before it closes.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Mrs. Sato.
Kindly escort Iris home now, Mr. Naruhodo. I shall meet you there later.
Is fun steaks out of wine. And so, our investigation came to an end. Susato-san went to file the necessary papers for my defense of Gina the following day. And then it hit me. I could no longer suppress the wretched feeling that had been gnawing away at my insides. I think it's fun seeks, not fun. Tomorrow, Susato-san would be leaving Britain and making her way back to Japan.
Naruhodo-san, it's been a very trying day, hasn't it? I do hope you're not too exhausted.
What about you, Susato-san? Today has been even more trying for you, I'm sure. Mr. Sholmes was shot before your eyes. Gina was arrested. All on the back of the news that her father has fallen ill and that she must return to Japan at once. I hope your father recovers soon.
Thank you for your kind words. I wonder why it is that so many thoughts rage in my head like a storm, and yet I seem unable to find the words to express any of them.
I know exactly what you mean.
Anyway, I have one final task to complete as your judicial assistant. Once that is done, I shall make preparations for my departure tomorrow.
One final task?
It's just 2 months since we arrived in London, but we've managed to establish this office. It was finally feeling as though we were settling in.
So, are we going to have Iris as a court companion? I think so too. But like, they really spent like 50 days traveling here. They spent like 60 days in London, and now she has to travel back for another 50 days. Damn, that has to be rough.
But we've managed to establish this office. It was finally feeling as though we were settling in. I would be lying if I said I felt no regret.
I'm so sorry, Susato-san.
It's just so sudden. I really don't know what to think. I've had no time to gather my thoughts.
I know we've only been here a short time, but in my limited experience of the courtroom, I feel I've learned something.
And what would that be?
It seems to me there are many facets to people's personalities.
Facets?
And like a jewel, the light plays off them in complex patterns, illuminating their actions and their motives. She will have traveled for as long as she has been there, almost twice as long. Because the to and fro, you know. But we only see a small number of the total facets, and what is illuminated is only part of the whole story. What lies in the shadows? What do those facets we cannot see look like? Perhaps there are some parts we'll never lay eyes on for as long as we live.
That's so true.
Sometimes I feel as though I'm blind to so much, but I keep hoping that one day it will all become clear. That all the facets will be illuminated and I'll finally understand how everything fits together.
Naruhodo-san.
I suppose what matters is that we keep our eyes open and keep moving forward, even if the way sometimes seems dark.
It's amazing to think it's been just 2 months. You've grown so much.
Sorry, I've what?
Oh, no, it was nothing. Unimportant.
Do you know what time you will leave London in the morning?
Yes, I picked up my ticket earlier. I shall be leaving here at 4 a.m.
4 a.m.? I see. Well, I'll escort you to the station.
Absolutely not.
Sorry?
I'm sure you realize why I couldn't possibly let you do that. You have a very important day ahead of you tomorrow.
Gina's trial. Yes, I know, but
every word you utter will have the potential to determine Gina's fate. You must get as much rest as possible. Even though, like me, I'm sure you will find it hard to sleep. But please, for me, do try.
You mentioned one final task a moment ago. What did you mean?
Oh my, I nearly forgot. Please, I want you to have this.
What is that? Some huge bundle of documents.
It's my notes from the case 2 months ago. The murder that was committed on the omnibus.
The Gilded case.
It seems to me that this case of Mr. Winterback's murder, of which Gina is accused, is very much tied up with that omnibus case, in ways that are not yet completely apparent. So I took the liberty of consolidating my writings about the case for you.
With everything else she's had to think about, Susato-san still managed to do this, and all neatly laid out for me in her beautiful handwriting.
It was my pleasure. I can only hope that it will bolster your case tomorrow for Gina.
Thank you so much, Susato-san. I will do my best to use it wisely. You really are the best judicial assistant in the world.
Well, that's extremely flattering. But I'm sorry to say that I have been a complete failure.
Sorry? I didn't quite catch what you said there.
Oh, ignore me. I was just mumbling to myself. Well, it's getting rather late. I think you should go to bed now, Naruhodo-san. I must finish packing up my things in my room.
Susato-san, I wish
you the very best of luck tomorrow. Good night.
Wait! There's something I need to say. Really? A Susato takedown now? What was that?
A secret technique of mine.
The Susato shutdown. Okay, shutdown. Never mind. Shutdown.
Please, I implore you. We have to voice our goodbyes. I won't be able to hold back my tears.
Susato-san. It truly had been a trying day. On our feet for hours, getting Gina to open up to us and learning the truth about that nemesis of a case. Physically and mentally, I was exhausted, and yet the idea of sleep seemed impossible. But I forced myself to close my eyes, and as a cacophony of scenes of our lives here in London played through my mind, eventually, my fatigue triumphed, and I fell into a deep sleep. Yes, I quite understand. But it's a great weight off my mind. Rest assured, I shall put everything in place exactly as we have discussed. Thank you so much. It has been an honor.
It has been an honor and a pleasure to be acquainted with you, Mr. Sholmes.
On the contrary, the pleasure has been mine. I bid you farewell and Godspeed. My dear madam. Is he just going to sleep on the floor? It's better than a trunk. He looks rather at ease for someone who was shot. it's her luck. He'd be like that. He's built different. It still bothers me that there was no blood. Okay. My god. Can I... Whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna end it here. It was fun though. I'm getting kind of tired now. Hey, happy Clement! Yes, happiest. Happiest happy boy. I mean, I guess I could like use Spotify or whatever, but it won't really be quite the same. But like, if my iTunes won't fucking work, hold on, let me try my iTunes like once more. Hey, it's that dude from Pokemon. That dude from Pokemon, yes, exactly. Holy shit, it works! Cool. Hold on. Is it the right size? I don't fucking know. There it is. Okay, cool. Oh, it's kind of loud. It works! It's way too loud though. Magic. Oh god, thank god. Oh, I was so stressed about this. I don't know why it wouldn't work until now, but it works! So it's fine. But yeah, I'm gonna end it here. Next stream is on Thursday, maybe, probably. And yeah. Also, I've been like thinking. Oh, yes. No, it's absolutely right. Hold on. It just does that sometimes. I know why it does it, but whatever. I could skip to the next one, then it should be fine. Or not. Why does it not fucking work? Why does that not work? I'm so confused. Okay, switch to iTunes. Yes, that's right. There we go. Hey, thank you for letting me know. But yeah, there is also something that's coming up really soon, and that's Thankmas. And I was like considering if I should join that, but I don't know. I don't know what I would even stream for that. Thankmas? Yeah. It's the thing that Jacksepticeye does like every year, and like everyone can join. I must have missed that. How can you have? It's like a yearly thing. And he has recently like started mentioning it a lot in videos. No, you don't have to do anything specific. It's just like for everyone, really. Like, I started promoting it like a month ago or something. It would be fun. Yeah. And it's just like, you know, it's supposed to be like a fundraiser, right? So like, I don't know, like even how much my goal would be at. Like, what would be a realistic goal for me with like 3 viewers on average? Because I don't want to be like completely lowballing it either. That would just be sad, but maybe I'm just overthinking it. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah. What is even the charity for this year? This holiday season, Thankmas is teaming up with New Story to help end global homelessness. The goal is to raise 10 million to provide new homes for 1,000 families. And that is on December 11th, which is like a Saturday. So, I don't know. I'll still have to like think more about it, I think. It seems like fun. I would love to do that. But yeah, I'll think a bit more about that because sign up isn't. It's not too late just yet. It doesn't. The charity seems legit as well. You did the research. But yeah, with that, I'm gonna end it here. See you on Thursday. Well, no, not you. You're gonna be moving on Thursday. Love that for you. So yeah, maybe I'll find someone else to like enter Thankmas with, because you can enter it alone or you can like be a team. If there is time, I'll tune in for a bit. That's sweet of you. But I know how exhausting moving is, so it's okay if you don't get the time. Like, I totally understand. Now, speaking of charity live streams, the game theory one with St. Jude is live now. Cool. I might watch that tomorrow. But yeah, that's it for tonight. It was fun. I hope you all have a lovely day or evening. And I'll see you on Thursday. Bye bye.